So I've got a chair here. Now, when we're using our chairs, ideally we want a chair without armrest if possible, just so you have lots of room to move. But if you only have a chair with an armrest, that's totally fine as well. Just be mindful as we're moving today that you're not going to accidentally hit your arms on anything. Okay, so we're going to start by sitting up nice and tall in our chair, and we're actually going to move forward to the fronts of our seats. So if I turn sideways for a second, if I'm sitting back here like this, it's actually really difficult to move my body because my weight is so far back in the chair. So we really want to think about using our tummy muscles to sit up nice and tall and then just move ourselves forward in the chair a little bit, because once we start moving our hips, you'll actually have more room to move if you're sitting forward in your chair. So just keep that in mind. We're going to sit tall at the fronts of our chairs. And all we're going to start to do here today is do a big sweep. We're going to scoop our arms all the way up into the air, reaching to the top of the ceiling, nice and gentle. And then we're going to relax our arms down. Great. We're going to do that again. Big scoop up, nice and gentle. Just go as far as you feel you're able to. There's no pressure to move any bigger than you feel comfortable. And again, we're going to do a big scoop all the way up to the ceiling. This time we're going to clasp our hands together and we're going to reach our fists up to the air, really thinking about stretching up towards the ceiling just as far as you feel you're able to. And then we're going to drop the arms again. Let's do that again. Reach our arms up. We're going to clasp our hands at the top and we're going to pull our fists up towards the ceiling, stretching the sides of your bodies. Make sure no one's holding your breath. You're just breathing normally. One more time. We're going to go swoop to clasp. And then we're going to reach all the way up to the ceiling as far as you can. Now keep yourselves here. We're just gonna lean over on the diagonal just a little bit. So you're stretching the outside of your torso here. Reach, reach, reach. And then back up to the ceiling. Remember, if anything feels off, you can ease off or stop what you're doing. This is meant to be a gentle stretch. Good. Hopefully you do feel a stretch though. And back to the middle, and let's drop our arms. We're now going to float the arms up into a T shape, still sitting nice and tall, hopefully. And we're going to do little twists like an airplane. So our arms are horizontal and we're just turning just a little bit our breastbone to the corners of the room. We're not going too far right now. We're just introducing some movement into our trunk, making breastbone meeting the diagonals of your room. Great. And let's drop the arms for a moment. And then we're going to float the arms back up to a T shape again. And this time we're going to lean down to the side. You're tipping your airplane down. And you'll notice that my shoulder is coming towards my hip. So this movement is not the same as the arms moving, right? We actually want the arms to stay where they are, but it's your body that's sort of leaning over to the side. So you're forming this little crescent shape with your trunk. Beautiful. And we're just going to circle the top arm once and twice. And then we're floating back up. Drop the arms for a second. And then we're going to float them back up again and do the same thing on the other side. So remember, it's your body that's tipping over, that crescent shape of your torso. Shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. And we're going to circle the top arm once and twice. And coming back up and drop the arms. We're going to take one hand now and we're going to reach the opposite knee. So the outside of your opposite knee. And then your other hand is going to grab around the side or the back of the chair, whatever you can comfortably reach. You're going to sit up nice and tall, and then you're going to twist. You're going to pull yourself around into a rotational stretch. Just be careful here if you're someone with back pain or any injuries to your trunk. Just be a little bit gentle with the stretch, but you're kind of thinking about your spine like a corkscrew. So you're nice and tall and you're rotating on the spot to look at the back corner of your room. And hopefully you're not holding your breath. You're breathing normally, sitting up nice and tall, nice, gentle, calm movement. And then we'll release. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Take your hand, hold on to your opposite knee. The other hand is going to grab the back of the chair or the seat, whatever you're comfortable reaching. We're going to sit up tall. And then we're going to pull ourselves around into this rotational stretch, thinking about that corkscrew analogy again in your trunk. You're twisting around so you're looking at the back corner of the room. Hopefully not holding your breath, you're breathing. And remember, if anything feels not right or painful, please do ease off a little bit. Listen to your body. You don't have to do everything exactly the way that I'm showing. Good. And we're going to release. We're going to do it one more time on either side. So we're going to take our hand, hold on to the opposite knee. The other hand is going to wrap around the chair, either the seat or the back of the chair. Sit up tall, lengthening to the side. And then we rotate. Think about that corkscrew. We're rotating on the spot, on our axis. And breathing as you hold the stretch. It should feel nice. The stretches should all feel nice, although maybe sometimes a little bit uncomfortable, but hopefully not painful. Good. And release. One more time on the other side. Hold on to the opposite knee. Your other hand's going to go around the chair. And then you're rotating yourself around in that rotational stretch. Think about the corkscrew. That's your spine. Nice and tall, crown of the head, reaching for the ceiling during this rotation. And we'll release. Great. I'm going to turn sideways for our next one so you can see me. So we're sitting forward in our chairs a moment ago, but now we're actually going to sit back, all the way back in our chair. We're going to lean into the backrest of our chair. And depending on how tall the back of the chair is, if your chair is lower, you can actually slouch for this one. But I'll show you, and then you'll know what we're doing. So I'm going to lean back into the chair. I'm going to put my hands up behind my head or behind my ears, whatever's comfortable. And I'm going to point my elbows out to the side. So not in front, but I'm pointing my elbows out to the side. So I'm opening my chest. And then from here, I'm going to go up and over the back of the chair. So I'm stretching my back over the backrest of the chair to look up at the ceiling. Now, just be a little bit careful with this one, especially if you're someone who has bone density issues like osteoporosis. Please don't go back too far and not to press too hard into the back of the seat if you're someone with osteoporosis, because we just want to be careful with the bones. But it should feel quite nice, a bit of a stretch to your chest and your back. And we'll release and relax the arms for a second. We're going to do it again. Here we go. Bring the hands up behind our heads. Elbows opening out to the side. So we're really opening through the front of the chest. And then we're leaning back up and over the back of the chair to look up at the ceiling. Elbows pointing out to the side. This should feel quite nice in your back. Breathing as we're doing this. And release. Good. We're going to sit up nice and tall again. Move to the front of our chair. I'm going to turn around. Now that we're sitting back at the front of our seat, we're going to lengthen one of our legs in front of us. So straightening the knee. We're going to sit up nice and tall, hands onto the thigh of that straightened knee. And we're going to hinge forward at the hips, walking the hands forward down the leg. Let me turn sideways. So I'm sitting tall. I'm not curving my back like this, right? I'm sitting tall and I'm hinging at the hips. You might not actually get very much movement at all because you're keeping your spine long and hinging at the hips. You should feel a stretch at the back of the thigh or the back of the knee. I'm just letting somebody in. Keep going. I'm just going to let someone in from the waiting room. So you're hinging forward at the hips and you're stretching the back of your thigh, the back of your knee. Now your foot, it does not have to be pointing up. I know sometimes when you do exercise classes, people tell you it needs to go up, but it actually doesn't. Your foot can be in whatever position you want. If you did bring your foot up, you just kind of get a bit of a more nerve stretching sensation, which you don't really need. We're stretching the muscles. So you can relax the foot if you like, or you can point it up. It doesn't matter. It's up to you, but you're hinging at the hips. And then we're going to come back up and we're going to do the same on the other leg. So you're straightening that knee, sitting tall, hands on the thigh, and you're hinging from the hips. So try to keep your back straight if you can, and you're hinging at the hips to lean forward. And you might notice you're not going to get very far before you feel that stretch because we're hinging at the hips, and that's absolutely fine. So just go as far as you feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be a big stretch. If you wanted a very small stretch, that's okay too. Whatever feels good in your bodies today. Good, and coming back up. Let's do one more on each side. We're gonna straighten the legs, sit tall, hinging at the hips, and walking the hands down that leg. Remember not to curve your back. We're gonna lengthen our backs if we can. Breathing as you're doing this. Hopefully you're not holding your breath. And coming back up. Last time on the other side. Straightening that leg, sitting tall, reaching down that leg. Hinging at the hips, back long, things lengthen spine, hinging at the hips to get that stretch. Good job, everybody. And coming back up. We're now going to have a stand up. Now, before you all start standing up, I just want to bring to your attention the way we want to get our bodies to stand. We don't want to be doing this momentum kind of swing and pull to get us up. We really want to think about keeping our bodies centered over our base. So for example, I have a water bottle here. Now, I can balance the water bottle on my hand because the weight of the water bottle is directly over the base, right? But if the weight of the water bottle tips beyond the base, it's gonna fall. And that's exactly like our bodies. So when I'm standing, if I'm like this and I'm trying to stand up and my weight is back here and then I'm trying to pull or I'm trying to swing myself up, you're going to find the balance to be a bit difficult to maintain. So what we really want to do is move to the front of our seat, and our base here is our feet. So I want to get my body forward over my base, and then I push the floor away to stand. So that way I'm stacked, kind of like that water bottle analogy, and then you don't end up falling when you stand up. So give that a try. See if you can try doing maybe just 2 stands. You can do 2 sit, 2 stands, thinking about bringing your weight forward over the base of support, and then you stand up, stacking up nice and tall, so that way you're not falling over. And when you're done with the 2 sit, 2 stands, we're going to stay standing. Now, the first stretch we're going to do in standing is going to be for our calf muscles. So I'm going to turn sideways. You can hold on to a table, a chair, a wall, or nothing at all. It's up to you. But here's what you're going to do. One leg is going to be forward, one leg is going to be back. Your front knee is going to be bent, and your back knee is going to be straight, and your toes are pointing forward. And in this position, your goal is to keep that back knee as straight as you can and really dig that back heel, reach that back heel towards the floor, and you should feel a stretch in the calf muscle, the calf muscle here in the back leg. So just hold that position. And remember, you can hold on to something for balance. Don't feel like you have to do this without holding on, because we're not doing a balance class, we're doing a stretch class. So the main purpose is you getting that stretch. So your front knee is bent, back knee is straight, and you're really reaching that back heel towards the floor so that you're feeling that stretch. Make sure that knee is straight. And hopefully you're breathing, not holding your breath. Good, nicely done. Now we're gonna take our back leg and we're gonna bring it in a little bit. So see how I brought that back leg in? This time I'm gonna bend my back knee. Maybe I'll bring it out a little further. I'm gonna bend that back knee, and then I'm gonna put my weight over that back knee. And you should feel a deeper calf stretch, almost towards more the heel side of the calf. If you don't feel that, bring your leg further out and do the same thing. So you're bending your knee and you're leaning your weight slightly back, and you should feel a deeper stretch in the calf, but more downwards towards the ankle and the heel this time. Hopefully you feel that. If not, reset, find that calf position, bring it in a tiny step, and then bend that back knee. You should feel that. Good. Hopefully you're breathing. And let's switch sides. So same thing on the other side. One leg forward, one leg back. Your front knee is bent. Your back knee is straight with that back heel reaching down to the floor. The more straight you can keep that back knee, the more you'll feel that stretch. You might find one side to be more difficult than the other or stiffer than the other, and that's okay. It's normal for us to not have perfect symmetry in our bodies, and this is especially true with Parkinson's. So don't worry, you're not trying to match both sides per se, just meet your body where it's at. Good, breathing. And then we're gonna take the back leg and just walk it in a little bit, and you're gonna bend that back knee now. Remember to put a little bit of weight over that back knee, and you should feel a deeper layer of that calf stretch, just more towards the ankle and heel. Breathing as you're doing this. Nicely done, everybody. And let's bring the legs back up. Let's shake it out a little bit. Nicely done, everybody. How are we doing for time? Hopefully we're not going over time. Perfect, we still have time. Okay. So we're gonna stretch our inner thighs now, and you're gonna bring your legs out a bit wider. So see how I'm making a triangle with my legs? That's what you want. So don't have the legs this close in. You want them to be out a little bit further, and you can hold on to something in front of you. I'm just not using anything because otherwise I'll block my legs, but you can hold on to something if you need. And our feet are gonna stay where they are. And all we're gonna do here is we're gonna bend our knee to one side, and I'm sticking my bottom back so I can stretch my inner thigh. So from the side, watch, I'm bringing my weight to one side and I'm physically pushing my bottom back. And you're keeping your spine long, you're hinging at the hips, pushing your bottom back so that you get that stretch on the inner thigh or groin area. And make sure you're holding on to something if you need. If this feels awful and you want to sit out, that's okay too. If you did want to try in sitting, exactly the same thing. You would sit forward in your chair, one leg out to the side on the diagonal and lean forward. Same thing. So if you want to do that in sitting, absolutely fine. Or you can keep going in standing, whatever works for you. And then stand up nice and tall. Same thing on the other side. We're gonna bend the knee, stick the bottom back. So you get that nice stretch through the inner thigh. Again, you can do it in sitting, that's okay. Or if it feels completely awful and you wanna sit out, that's okay too. Remember to breathe. And remember, my arms are like this because I'm pretending to hold on to something, not because this is part of the stretch. Good, nicely done, everybody. And relaxing those legs. Okay, we have 2 more stretches and we're done. So the next one we're gonna do, you have 2 options, or actually 3 options. We're gonna stretch the front of the thigh and the front of the hip, which for a lot of us is probably quite tight because we're often walking in this kind of position. And over time, you just get a lot of tightness through the front of your thighs. So we're going to try to address that. So one option, if you have decent balance, you're still holding on to something. But what you can do is you can grab your foot, and you can pull it up towards your bottom, keeping your knees in one line and pushing your hips forward so you get that stretch in the front thigh. If this is a no-go for you, don't worry, that's okay. We have options. The second option is you're still holding on, but this time you're placing your foot onto a chair behind you, but your knees are still in one line. So you're still getting that stretch through the front thigh, pushing your hips forward. This is option 2. But if you're someone who cannot do the standing at all and you want to go sitting, that's fine too. You'll sit forward in your chair and you're basically going to turn your knees into a diagonal position. And the front leg is going to slide back and drop that knee pointing towards the floor. Then you lean back in your chair like that. So then you kind of get that same stretch. It's the same thing. It's up to you which version you want to do. So I'll show you again. If you're doing sitting, you're turning your knees on a diagonal, sitting at the very front of your chair. And that front leg is going to slide back. The knee's going to point down towards the floor. And you're going to lean back into the chair. So you're kind of lengthening. So essentially, you're lengthening this entire front side of your leg. So no matter what version you're doing, keep going, switch to the other side if you've already done the first side. So remember with this class, we're being very kind with ourselves and we're not pushing our bodies beyond the limit of what you can manage. You're doing whatever feels good in your body today. The class is meant to be a nice stretch for you to start the day and for you to feel looser in your body. So we definitely don't want to pull so hard or stretch so hard that we're hurting ourselves. So we just want to be a bit gentle. Great, and we're going to release. Now our final exercise, we're going to use a wall. This is going to be for our back. This is our last one before we're done. 30 minutes passes by really quick. But we're going to stand up and you're going to lean your hips and back into a wall. And hopefully the wall doesn't have pictures hanging on it because you might hit your arms or hurt your back if you're leaning on something a little awkward. But you want to keep your hips on a wall and your shoulders and back on a wall and you're standing up nice and tall. Just give you a moment to find a wall. I see lots of people moving. If you've already found your wall, just stand nice and tall, keeping your back on the wall if you can. Okay, we're gonna bring our arms up in front of us, kind of like a robot in this kind of 90 degrees bent position. And then from here, I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together and try to push my arms onto the wall. So I'm keeping my shoulders, my back, the entire length of my arms onto the wall. Really stretching back, squeezing my shoulder blades together. And we're going to ease off and drop the arms for a second. Let them relax, and then we're going to do it again. Arms up in front of us. We're going to stretch them back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, open the arms out to the side, pressing them into the wall. Or you can sit down and do this, that's okay. It doesn't have to necessarily be on a wall if you can't. Really trying to push those arms back. And then drop them. Let's do one last one. Bring the arms up. And then open them out to the side, opening the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, bringing the arms back to the wall, almost like you're trying to press an imprint of your back and head and shoulders and arms onto the wall. And let's rest. Drop the arms. Let's just roll out our shoulders a little bit. Roll the shoulders back. And let's roll them forward, nice and loose. Nicely done. Let's do one last big sweep up to the ceiling. Reach the arms up, clasp them, reaching to the ceiling. And then pull on a bit of a diagonal on either side. Breathing. And drop the arms, and you are done. Thank you everyone for joining us for this quick 30-minute morning stretch class. I hope you enjoyed it. Every week we're going to be doing something a little bit different, but remember, if there are any specific areas you would like to stretch, you are more than welcome to request that. You can email me and let me know, and I will incorporate it into the class. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Happy Monday, and I hope you all have a wonderful week.